Tonight, I have a bevy of independent films. I got a sneak peek on one that I think is going to be really well and you're going to like a lot. First, I want to talk about Neil Gaiman. You know, I really like this guy. I've read a lot of his books, and he tends to be on the weird side, and that's okay with me. He was behind the television series Lucifer, if you remember that one. I enjoyed that one. I enjoyed the first 3 seasons. Tremendously, and thought the story pretty much ended there. They added 2 more seasons, and those 2 were a little bit lame, but it's a good thing. Neil does something when he talks about the devils and demons. They always have a very hedonistic lifestyle. They're quite promiscuous, shall we say, with no holds barred on the sexual front, and you kind of expect that. So I knew going into watching The Sandman, which is his latest endeavor, and it's showing on Netflix, that something like that would. This show really Jekyll and Hyde-ed me, if I can. The first 5 episodes are one story, and it's a complete story, and they probably should have ended it there because it was pretty good. When they started getting into 6, 7, 8, and they went up to, I think, 11 or 12 now, it just lost a whole lot of things. It started turning, well, let me kind of explain to you what I'm talking about here. Given the fact that Gaiman does this very sexual, liberal, hedonistic society when it comes to demons and beings of the supernatural, I wasn't too surprised that there would be an awful lot of the homosexuality in the first 5 episodes. But by the time the 5 episodes, the first 5 were done, folks, there wasn't a straight character in this at all. There really wasn't. The story was good, but what was the purpose? I didn't quite get it. And then, when the next episode started, it kept the queer agenda in there and then added in the trans agenda. And that really was the straw that broke the camel's back as far as I was concerned. The story depreciated as far as quality is concerned after episode 5, and then it just became inundated with agenda. And even for Neil, it was a little bit overboard, and just I couldn't take any more of that. You always get more of what you tolerate, and after episode 5, I could tolerate no more. Here is a look at Sandman.
Tonight we will achieve what no one has even attempted. We will summon and imprison death.
Here it comes.
I give you a coin made from a stone.
Here it comes.
And I give you a feather pulled from an angel's wing. And I give you the blood from my vein. We summon you together!
Death has family, desire, destiny, despair.
Which one have I got?
Dream. You're gonna need all the help you can get.
As I've always said, you always get more of what you tolerate. Cinematic class is about to begin. This is just the start. And your professor is in. Greetings, salutations, another sundry affair. I am your cinematic professor and purveyor of truth in movies. And before we get started tonight, and we do have a lot to do, let's give a little tip of the hat to our sponsor, the House of Fairuza Barbershop and Cigar Lounge. They have an awful lot of things going on in the waning summer months. My Flying Hawaiian shirt here tonight, we're not going to be able to wear those much longer, are we? So one of the advantages of living in Arizona, you could wear Flying Hawaiian shirts all year round. So. In any event, we want to thank Sam down at the House of Fairuza. They're located at the corner of South Park Road and Drake Road. They'll have you looking your best, feeling your best, and give you an awful lot of man things to do. It's very good. Very good. And I want to remind you that not too far in the future, you will be able to see the podcast, the Rex Reel podcast. You want to keep your eyes and ears open for that. It promises to be an awful lot of fun. Speaking of an awful lot of fun, this one certainly wasn't. This movie is an embarrassment to all of Pennsylvania. And it's not because it has anything to do with our corrupt government or our election procedures, although both of those would certainly qualify as an embarrassment. It has to do with this latest film called The Day After Halloween that is being promoted by the Pennsylvania Film Office. This movie attempts to be a horror comedy. Horror is okay. Comedy is always tough. But this falls so flat as to elicit groans rather than guffaws. Now, Danny Schluck wrote this mess, and he plays the lead as well. He's trying his best to mimic Danny McBride. It doesn't work. Director Chad Ostrom tries time shift editing, but even that ploy, with a really annoying countdown ticking clock, it falls flat. Starring with Schluck are Brandon Delaney, Amy Fogelman, Victoria Mead, and Joe Lazenby. Folks, I would strongly suggest you avoid this one at all costs.
Is she dead?
God, I hope so.
Why would you hope so?
Well, for one, if she's not dead, neither one of us is doing a very good job of reviving her. What we're dealing with here is a young white girl, so the police will come, they will have questions, but I think we can get past this. How long do you figure it takes to cut up a body?
Is that a serious question?
I hope it's not much harder than deboning a chicken.
Guarantee you, I will make every effort to...
I did that for you.
Hello, guys. I need to talk to you about a party you had here last night.
How many more people are gonna have to die horribly painful deaths?
You know, it's a common theme in thrillers for folk to be stranded out at sea with a killer. It fits most of the criteria for some really good thrills. There's no doubt in this one, however, who the antagonist is going to be. This movie is directed by Kate Cox, and she's known for pushing the female warrior agenda in Tinseltown. So this film quickly dissolves from a thriller to a woman power pamphlet. Usually these sea thrillers are quite hedonistic, but while it is a pervading theme that somehow when you go into the deep and out in sea, the rowdy behavior of the women in this movie is only alluded to and it's not shown. That goes against the norm. And I think it plays into the fact that they're trying to set the women up as protagonists, therefore they would not act rowdy, but it's implied. The film stars Ella Ray Smith, Matt Daddario, and Jessica Alexander. You know, despite all the preaching from the woman power group, the feminazis, and all those women are the future cliches, it's still surprising how, even in this script, how these women fall for the most lamest of ploys.
He's actually quite fit, Ade. Do you want to come to a party later?
Yeah, why not?
Hey, you came.
Who's this? What's his problem anyway?
Those guys don't take the out-of-towners. Do you want to get out of here?
Yeah.
Wow. This is your boat.
Welcome to my home. Morning.
Sorry.
You should have asked.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh my God.
Okay, you're gonna help me?
Hey. Hey. Do you have any idea what happened to you?
He's not a good guy, Jess. He drugged you. Just another one of his conquests.
Did you take any of me?
What are you talking about?
Oh my God, Ben!
You attacked me.
She attacked me. She's dangerous.
Promise me that you're gonna help me.
Promise me!
She's going to come after you.
And you believe him?
So about now you're saying, Professor, do you have anything nice to say about any movies on tonight's show? Yes, I do, and I'll tell you about them when Outtakes with Rex Reel continues right after this. You know, there's always something exciting going on at the House of Fairuza Barbershop and Cigar Lounge, and that's why I'm happy to have them as one of our sponsors here on Outtakes with Rex Reel. I'd like to tell you about their next outing, which occurs in July, but folks, it's already sold out. So before I even had a chance to tell you about their golf outing, tickets are gone already. That's how fast, you owe it to yourself to go down there, enjoy some good quality man time in the lounge, and then also stop in and have Sam make you look like you're styling and profiling. And I got to tell you, they have a lot of really unique products that you're not going to find anywhere else, like on the shelf of Walmart or someplace like that. A lot of them are locally made, and they are very good. I'm wearing about 2 or 3 of them right now. So it's the House of Fairuza Barbershop and Cigar Lounge. Don't let a week go by without finding out what's going on. Give Sam a call. They're located at the corner of Drake Road and South Park Road, and they are a proud sponsor of the show. They support us. Won't you support them? Welcome back to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I've said this before on the show. There are an awful lot of thrillers and horror movies that are surrounding themselves around the trials and tribulations, if you will, of the Wuhan virus. And like many of the horror films that do, and thrillers, this one actually begins with the COVID scare as well. But here, the effects of the COVID bring distrust among friends. The tale then takes on a kind of a Straw Dogs mien. Do you remember Straw Dogs with Dustin Hoffman? Yeah, Susan George. Yeah, it takes on that kind of a feel to it when common folk and friends have to turn on each other. Now, there's a trio of rather nefarious no-goods, and one of its members swindles the other 2 out of their loot and stashes the cash. His accomplices, they seek him out and they kill him, only to discover that the money he hid has been discovered by a group of campers, a couple of friends. The conflict begins as a campers versus the bad guys type of thing, but then eventually it devolves into the campers fighting amongst themselves. And it's all under the auspices of attempting to find a better life for each of them due to the restrictions of the Wuhan virus. The stars in this include Leo Zola, Caitlin Cameron, Alex Gravenstein, good name, and Hannah Burland. I kind of enjoyed watching this movie. It showed how people who are close friends can really dissolve into wanting to kill each other quickly. The movie was made by the Fusia brothers, and I mention that because this brother act is becoming very popular in filmmaking. You have the Russo brothers and what have you, and the brothers, so to speak, are becoming a thing. It's a growing trend in there. Damien Fusia is probably the main guy on this. He's not only directed it, but he also edited it, and he served as a director of photography. And one thing I want to mention about this, he probably didn't think many people would pick it up, but I did. That's why I am your cinematic professor. You know, and I always got into battles with my old friend Ed Blank over this. I always appreciated the cinematography of Tak Fujimoto, okay? Ed Blank just did not like his work at all, but I thought it was really, really good, and I enjoyed watching him. It's very noticeable. And he as part of his modus operandi, he does the 360, circle, and I don't think there's many in the business who do it better than he did it. And the Fusia brothers attempt to do the same thing. They maybe carry it a little bit too long in this, but it's definitely he's imitating Tak Fujimoto in this. And I thought, aha, gotcha. It's not bad when you attempt to copy one of the good ones, and I think Tak is certainly that. So there's that to look forward in this movie. It comes at the climactic scenes. This one was a whole lot of fun to watch. It's called Camping Trip, and here is a look.
Missed you. Hey, stop that, pendejo. I told you not to do that. My neighbors are watching.
Camping
trip!
Shut up, Base. There might be people around.
Babe, there's no one around for miles.
Hey, how you doing, Doc?
Can you please, gentlemen, respect the 6 feet? And I specifically asked you guys to wear masks. So where are they? There's a freaking pandemic happening out there. People are dying from it.
Take your mask off. I hate to see your face.
I don't know who to trust anymore.
So for once, can you just put aside your morals?
Watch too many movies, boy.
So sometimes technology can be really scary. I know this has happened to you. It certainly has happened to me. You're sitting around, you have your phone sitting on the table. You're sitting around and you're talking about ABC product or something. And the next time you get on your phone and go onto one of your social networks, lo and behold, there's an advertisement or promotion for ABC, exactly what you were talking about. And it's like, wow, what a coincidence. No, I don't think it's a coincidence, folks, okay? That kind of stuff is weird, and let me explain to you what happened here, because it deals with this next movie. I was scoping through one of the local bookstores, which will remain nameless because they don't sponsor the show, and perusing through their bargain bin, and I found this book called The Chestnut Man. And it's Scandinavian, like Joe Nesbo writes his books, and it's a similar vein. And I thought I'll give this one a try. I read the blur, and it sounded kind of interesting. I really enjoyed this novel. It was a really good book, put together well, it moved quickly, well written. Enjoyed it. And I'm sitting around the table, and I'm telling the family, hey, I got this book. If you guys want to read this, this is really, I really enjoyed this. It's called The Chestnut Man. Lo and behold, the next time I get online, I get a notice, Professor, do you know that Netflix has a series called The Chestnut Man? I kid you not. I went, oh man, this is just way too spooky. So I go on to Netflix and I check. Sure enough, it's there. And it's a series, a 6-episode series. Each episode is about an hour long, and it's based on this book that I just read. And I got to tell you, I enjoyed watching the TV version of it as well. I got to tell you that Scandinavian TV is not on par with what we do here in America, but this is really just a good story. So it goes through. There's some large gaps if you just watch the TV show, that I think kind of hurt the production. For example, there's one part where Thulin, our main detective, is going to disguise herself as who they see as the next victim of the Chestnut Man. And in the story, in the novel, there's a whole big why they want her to do it, why they don't want her to do it, why the intended victim is all up in arms about the whole thing, and it's a big to-do. In the television series, they just cut to the scene where she's walking into the apartment and she's already donned the disguise, and if you don't know that, they don't explain it until after the scene is over, and her partner said, well, it was your idea. Yeah, so wait a minute, you missed a whole lot of the story there. So in that aspect, the conclusion in the novel was really pretty graphic and exciting, and they didn't quite have the production values for that for the TV show. You can watch it in either the original or the dubbed, and I can tell you the dubbed version is pretty good, so you don't miss anything as far as the story is concerned. The book has a different ending than the TV show. The book actually sets up a sequel. The TV show, I guess they could make one, but it's really going to have to stretch. Bottom line is I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed the novel version of it, which you can get in the bargain bin, and I enjoyed watching the Netflix 6-part series to it as well. It's called The Chestnut Man. I think you're going to like this one.
The victim is 37 years old.
Did you find it?
The hand? No, not yet.
A 10-year-old boy was sleeping upstairs and woke up to an empty house.
Tell me if something in them is unusual or out of the ordinary. A chestnut man. What does a chestnut man look like? It has no hands nor feet. The first victim was missing one hand. The next was missing two.
Hello?
There'll be more killings.
Is anyone there?
I can feel her. I know she's out there.
All right, here's a good maxim for you. I've always told you that the ideal movie is about 90 minutes long. The best documentaries should be an hour at most. Now, when a documentary starts to go beyond an hour, it is inevitable that it will sink into some type of propaganda. Take that to the bank. Similarly, a mockumentary should also follow the same maxim. This one does, and is quite worthwhile, I got to tell you, especially for anyone who has ever been involved in any way in theater or the performing arts. It's called Daphne. Daphne not only is the name of the movie, but it's the Daphne Project is the name of the movie, but Daphne is the main character. She is a self-centered, egotistical, mid-level talent, at best, who thinks she is some kind of social justice warrior. Well, when you listen to Daphne speak, and this is a message for all you progressive liberals, she will sound silly, but she is the epitome of what you folks sound like to all of us who have common sense. The mockumentary centers around her involvement in a rendition of The Bacchae by Euripides. Daphne is played by Zora Iman Cruz. Man, I can't tip my hat enough to this lady. She is also the writer, the producer, the director of the film. She has captured expertly the personification of the self-absorbed members of the performing arts. Now, starring with her are Jake Horowitz, April Lavelle, and Reed Lancaster. This movie is a parody, but it's a very funny one.
Welcome. to the beginning of your new life.
Oh, I always arrive 20 minutes late to the first rehearsal.
Welcome our fellow.
I don't know if weakest is the right word. It's really important that we all move together as an ensemble, and there's definitely someone who's not doing that.
Okay, let me get this straight. The first African-American, cis female gendered Dionysus.
I am Dionysus.
Am I ready to be the face of the show? Yes.
I'm so sorry. Oh my god, Daphne!
Lin-Manuel Miranda better watch out. Coming for his genre. I've written a vehicle for myself.
I won't get up.
It is a show about the late, great Rosa Parks. Parks. It's really hard, being extraordinary.
Somewhere in this movie, there is a good movie, but this production just doesn't bring it out. A New York Times reporter outs a senator for illegal money laundering. That senator is so distraught that he commits suicide, and his oldest daughter decides to kidnap and kill the reporter. Problems arise when a very weird monster starts lurking in the forest where the assassination is planned. Now, Nora is the reporter, and she's played by Nicole Siniglia. And the daughter, Carolyn, is played by Vienna Hayden. Neither of their characters is given the opportunity in the script to follow any kind of arc. There is absolutely horrible dialogue in this, and we can tip our hats to writer Deanna Gomez for really putzing this thing up. Kevin Kepi plays the monster. Now, it's a good monster if you like masked monsters, okay? And you could tell in the close-ups that this is definitely a mask. It's a nice one, though. It's not bad. In the long shots, what they do, through the use of lighting and CGI, they show the monster with the mask, but the body looks a whole lot different. Very unhuman, if you will, and it actually looks better in the long shots. Director Alex Huang does nothing to assist the continuity between the scenes and the unveiling of this creature. Director of photography Kelly Colt utilizes the old 1960s ploy where they've put a blue filter over the camera to try to simulate nighttime shots when it's obvious they're shooting during the day. All in all, this movie turns out to be a really hot mess. There's a decent story in here somewhere, but the entire cast and crew need to return to the drawing board and turn everything up a notch or two.
Any news on the Pulitzer board?
You're definitely one of the front runners.
I don't want to be a front runner. I want to win, so make it happen.
We've just received word that Nora Thompson, a New York Times investigative reporter, is missing, and no one seems to be able to reach her or know her whereabouts.
I know who I am. Senator Morrison's oldest daughter. What do you want? You want money? I'll get you whatever you want.
Everything all right?
Major calls. How does it feel to be haunted? That article you wrote. It's how my family and I felt.
Put the gun down nice and slow, Miss Miller. No one needs to get hurt!
You really are crazy, you know that?
I'd love to go on more and more about movies, but we are fresh out of time. Hey, don't forget, stop by House of Fairuza, corner of Drake Road and South Park Road, to style and profile and to have yourself some good manly fun as well. They sponsor the show. Won't you help them out as well? And the Outtakes with Rick's Real podcast coming very, very soon. So now that you have learned what you have learned, here endeth your lesson.